That couch, that narrow couch, leaning against the wall, I slided under that couch and I leaned my back flat against the wall, not to be seen. One of them jumping on top on that couch, up and down, and laughing away. I told you, when we come in quietly, we're going to get them all. I lay there in pain, in shock, pain all over, no water, no food. As the day went by, the smell from the bodies of my family was getting worse and worse. I kept vomiting and vomiting from the smell of the bodies. I went one floor below. Windows were smashed, broken, empty. Tried to get some sleep, but the windows were broken, and trucks with loudspeakers all night long I could hear, and then screaming, "If you don't give yourself up, we'll be here until you all die." I realized I cannot survive without food and water. I decided to give myself up. I went upstairs back to say goodbye to my family. My youngest sister, Shanna, was laying dead on top of my mother. I pulled her off to the side, and I took a rag and wiped off the blood from my mother's face. And I laid myself on top of my mother. And I cried, I swore to God, "Almighty God, I promise you, if you let me survive, I will tell the world. I will never forget you, all my family. This is why I'm here. This is why I'm pouring my heart out." I went downstairs and I gave myself up. And I ended up in 9 concentration camps, standing in the months of November, bitter cold, naked, waiting in the line for more than 18 hours. 2 big men were holding me with a nail and some kind of a chemical ink. They were digging into my arm over and over and over again, sometimes close to the bone. The number is 161051, concentration camp, Auschwitz number. I remembered my mother. She said that she was alive. She was telling me also, "Sweetheart, remember, you don't know where you're going to be if they take you. Put on a few underwear and a few t-shirts." I remember listening to my mother as these women and children were marched off in one direction and the men were marched off in another direction. They were told, "You are going to have a shower. Tomorrow you're going to work. Take off your clothes. Hang up your clothes on a hook. Every hook has a number. After you have your shower, you come back. You find your clothes." They didn't come back. No, they didn't come back. I was forced with a hammer and large nail to make many holes into 2 cans of Cyclone B crystal poison. Colonel Adolf Eichmann, chosen by Hitler, came to Auschwitz to see his progress. With a mask on his face, he'd emptied out these cans onto these men, women, and children, and laughing away and enjoying himself in the German language. He's, "Ach, wie schön das aussieht. Schau mal an, wie die fallen. Look how beautiful that looks. Look at them die. Look at them fall." More than 10,000 every day were gassed to death. Transports were coming in from day and night and night and day from all over Europe. They couldn't gas them all. There were 5 crematorias in Auschwitz and 4 in Birkenau. They dug ditches for miles and miles and miles long. Auschwitz and Birkenau is about 80 square miles. They dug ditches and they forced these men, women and children from the trains into these ditches. With gasoline they sprayed over them, and with flamethrowers they burned them alive. They burned them alive. The scream of these men, women and children lives with me all my life. If you don't believe me, go there. Dig away some dirt and you will see what I'm talking about. Burnt bodies to ashes. This lives with me all my life. I was forced to pull out their gold fillings from their teeth and their precious possessions and put it in a box and give it to the Nazis.
Oh goodness, what emotion is in David Faber's voice there as he relives terrible months that he spent in a Nazi concentration camp where he was just a boy in his mid-teens. This is Focus on the Family, and we've gotten to the heart of this message where we recognize the incredible inhumanity that was practiced in Nazi Germany. And Jim, it is about impossible for me as an adult to really grasp the horrific conditions that David lived through and how that could be. And I think it's probably close to impossible for most of us as parents to help our kids hear and then process what was going on back then.
That's true. That emotion in David's voice overwhelmed me. I mean, when he describes what was happening there, a human being experiencing it obviously is horrific, but to watch it as a boy, how you walk away with that image for the rest of his life, like you said. And I don't know, I'm so glad you invited Dr. Julie Slattery to be here with us, John. Julie, you and I both have young children. Where do you start to tell a child about this time, this period in history, which, you know what, could be repeated? Something like Darfur and other areas of the world where there's genocide. How do we talk to our kids not only about what happened in Germany during World War II, which for some might seem far, far away, but just human suffering, human evil?
You know, Jim, it's important that we do talk to our kids about these kind of things that have happened in the past. But as you're mentioning, also things that we see on the headlines today in terms of human trafficking and genocide and things like that. But we only want to allude to those things and maybe talk about the fact that there's evil in the world and there's bad people who want to do bad things.
Maybe without all the description.
When we have little kids, yeah,
Right.
you know, around the ages of 6 to 10, you know, those kind of allusions to, or even praying for